Hello, guys. Welcome back to the VAR Room podcast where Americans talk soccer. I am your co-host, June, and alongside me is...
Idris.
Before we can start, we would like to say a huge thank you to all the support and feedback we got on episode 1. All right, Idris, how's your weekend going?
My weekend's going great. I'm still buzzing from our win yesterday as FA Cup champion.
Congratulations. That was a huge victory for Arsenal and huge meaning for Arsenal manager. First person who was an Arsenal player captain and the manager to win an FA Cup. What were your thoughts on the victory?
It was a good victory. I think the first 10 minutes, Arsenal started off shaky. Chelsea got the goal, and instead of letting our heads drop, we kind of got back into the game. Our manager put some confidence in the team, and we came back to win the game. So I'm really proud of that.
Definitely. What did you think about Niles' performance? I haven't seen him play for Arsenal for a while before this match.
I think Maitland-Niles had a great performance yesterday. Has a very versatile player playing on the left side. Has a right-footed player. It's not easy. So I think he had a really great performance, and I'm glad for him. One of our own through the youth academy, and getting in performances like that, winning trophies, would be a huge boost for him.
Mm-hmm. What about Danny Ceballos?
Danny Ceballos.
Yeah, Ceballos. Was that the last match, do you think, for Arsenal, or is he gonna get signed for Arsenal once again?
I think he's gonna get his loan extended. I don't think he's gonna get signed on a permanent. I think Madrid are asking for too much money, and I don't think Arsenal can afford that right now. So I think his loan will get extended. I've loved his performance since after the shutdown. So I hope he stays for another year, and hopefully, if we get into the Champions League next year, we can sign him on a permanent.
Awesome. So this victory means Arsenal makes into the group stage for Europa.
Yeah, and we push Spurs to the qualifiers. You love to see it.
Do you think has the group stage already been announced for Europa or not yet?
Not yet. I think they're going to finish the cup off because there's still some games going on. I think that's supposed to come back in a week or two.
Man, this soccer is always number games. I was so sad to see Arsenal win, but happy for you at the same time because, yeah, like you said, now we're going to have to go to the qualifiers instead of group stages, and who knows what's going to happen. You know, we've been very shaky beginning of the season, and we'll see, but I'm hopeful.
Yeah, I'm just glad we're in Europe. I personally didn't want us to be in Europe because I think we needed a season out just to kind of get our feet together, but I'll take the extra money in a competition. Hopefully that convinces Aubameyang to stay.
For sure, Idris, but Arsenal doesn't belong anywhere. They belong in the bottom of the table in the championship.
No, that's where Spurs belong.
Hey, come on, man. So what's up?
Yeah, so I was just going to ask you, what do you think about the Pulisic injury? So he was a huge player for Chelsea, and to walk off injured in your first season, that must be very tough.
Oh, yeah. He took a shot. He took a mid-range shot. I think it was inside the penalty box. He cut in, took a shot. He held his hamstring, and he went down. It was such a awkward injury, don't you think?
Yeah, because no one touched him. He just ran into the box and pulled his hammy. You have to feel for him.
I heard the news. Yeah, I feel so bad for Chelsea for Pulisic being such on form right now, and he won't be able to play for Champions League, the upcoming match. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, they are already 3-0 down to Bayern, so.
Yeah, and Bayern, I looked at the record, and they've been 6-0 in the group stage. So they're undefeated, and Lewandowski and Gnabry on such form. So I don't think it would matter, but Pulisic would be the savior if he was not injured. Could have been, but
yeah.
What are your thoughts, Idris? What are your thoughts on Pulisic injury?
I think he really caused a lot of danger yesterday. We kind of tamed him after his goal, but he was still causing all sorts of trouble. Even though he got injured and that helped us a little bit, I will never want a player to get injured because that's tough on the player, you know.
Definitely.
Even though we've not played pro, even though we just play for fun, you know, getting injured is one thing we don't want to do, and seeing these pros get injured is tough also. So hopefully he recovers soon and he's back before the start of the season.
For sure. What did you think about the goalie change of Chelsea? That was unexpected from Lampard, I would say. He used to put a Argentinian 38-year-old Caballos, right?
Caballero.
Caballero and Kepa was sitting out. What were your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it was bound to be because Kepa has made some big mistakes, especially the game against United or some of the league games. He's made a lot of mistakes. So I think that was expected from Lampard, but to be the most expensive goalkeeper in the world and to be sitting on the bench is that has to be tough. So hopefully
I
he can find his form.
For sure, for sure. I feel for Kepa. I think he's a great goalkeeper. I think he's just on the slump right now. A lot of fans are criticizing and probably going through a tough time mentally. Um, on the other side, Caballero, I think the second goal with the Aubameyang's chip shot, I think if he was a little faster, if he was younger at his age, if he could have closed down the gap a little faster,
I
maybe
think that was just yeah, that was just down to the brilliance of Aubameyang. I think the defense should have done better. I kind of put some of the pressure on the Chelsea defense because if you look at the replay, you see Zuma is there and Alba fakes to shoot on his right, but he can't do that because they've crowded the box already. So there's only one way Alba can go. So he kind of made up Alba's mind for him to go onto his left, but the finish was sublime, world class.
No doubt about that. I'm not gonna take anything away from Aubameyang's beautiful game-winning shot, but I think Kepa would have blocked that.
I don't know.
What do you think, Idris?
I,
Do you
I just
think? Let me ask you this: do you think Kepa deserved to be on the sitting, be on the bench last night, or do you
based
think? I mean, he's been playing a lot of games. Pretty much almost every match is in Premier League, and Caballero comes in. It's like a backup goalie. He's old, and he replaces him in such an important match. What were your thoughts on that? Do you think he deserved to sit out, or do you think he deserves
based
another
on
chance?
recent performances, he 100% deserved to be on the bench. I think he gets a little more stick than he should by the Chelsea fans because they failed to blame their defense, which is atrocious. It's very bad, which doesn't help him. But 100% he deserved to be on the bench yesterday. And I don't think he really would have saved anything or made a difference yesterday because, again, their defense was getting terrorized by
Yeah,
Pepe and the
it was
likes.
pretty terrible. Chelsea's defense was pretty terrible last night. I really wanted to see N'Golo Kante play, but he's injured, right?
He just came back from an injury, so I don't think Lampard wanted to risk him for the because of Champions League again. So
Right, right. Pedro, he's also moving teams now. I forgot which team. Is he going to Valencia?
he's going to Roma, and
He's going to Roma.
sad for him to get injured
Oh yeah,
yesterday.
he also got injured. That's
Yeah,
correct.
he stretched off.
Wow, so many people, so many players getting injured.
Yeah, they're playing a lot of games.
That's rough. That's rough.
That is rough. So, Jim, guess before we get started with today's topic, what did you think about the Kovacic red card?
Kovacic red card. Let me think. What did you think, Idris?
Well,
I think it was a bad call.
100% bad call. Not warranted of a second yellow. I think his first challenge that he got a yellow was more of a red card than the second challenge, but I guess karma comes back to bite you. They made so many fouls in that game. Same thing against United. They made so many fouls. So I think it was bound to happen. But again, this is the controversy within VAR and the referees in England, which brings us to today's topic is VAR. So what are your thoughts on VAR? So before we go into that, let's get some background on VAR. June, you want to give us some background on that?
Yeah, for sure, Idris. So a little bit about VAR. So VAR was first pushed by the Netherlands Football Association, and it was first introduced in their national league in 2012-2013 season in Eredivisie. That's their league. And it was like kind of like a mock trial. Then in 2016, in friendly match between PSV and FC Eindhoven, they started using VAR for live trial on live TV. And next trial of VAR began in USL, the second division of MLS, and MLS also implemented VAR. And then it got introduced to Serie A, Bundesliga, and it finally made its way to Premier League in 2017-2018 FA Cup final, I think. Yeah, and then ever since we've been using VAR, and has been a lot of controversies on the VAR call. So VAR is kind of like an insurance for the referees. Whatever calls they make, they can use the VAR to go over those calls and check for any possible errors by referees or any assistant referees. Yeah. A little more about the VAR. So VAR operates with 3 people in VAR room. There's VAR official and there's assistant VAR referee, and then there's a Hawkeye operator. So Hawkeye operator is the guy who sits next to the VAR operator, and he gets all the camera angles of the VAR. So for example, Spurs versus Man City in Champions League, Hawkeye operator is when Llorente, when they were checking for possible handball, Hawkeye operator is the one that goes through all the angles and gives the best angle to VAR referee, and then VAR referee communicates to the communicates to the referee on field, and then on field referee goes to the pitch side monitor, and then that's where he communicates. So that's enough of background on VAR. So what do you think, Idris? What do you think about VAR? What do you think it has been beneficial for the games, or what do you think?
Speaking as an Arsenal fan, I totally hate VAR because it never goes in our favor. I think we've lost about 10 to 12 points just in the Premier League because of bad VAR calls. And I am not a fan of VAR. I think it ruins the game in some ways. There's some calls that they get right, but they don't get enough calls right for me to warrant liking VAR. They're not consistent. It's it's just a horrible shit show.
What do you think is the worst call that happened to Arsenal using VAR?
I'll have to say the As against, I think it was either Aston Villa. I am
Aston
not
Villa?
sure. I'm not sure which game it was, but it was a game last year. It was this season. We scored a goal off a corner. The
Mm-hmm.
goal goes in, but there's a foul called against Arsenal. But it was never a foul against Arsenal. It was a foul on our player because 3 players tackled our player down. So
And it was
the goal was disallowed. Shocking decision. 3 points dropped. So yeah,
so. Let me
we
get this
are.
straight. He was in the penalty box, and 3 defenders from Aston Villa or whatever tackled the player, and then the Arsenal player scored the goal, but it got disallowed.
So 3 players tackled that player. The
Uh
ball
huh.
ricochets to another Arsenal player who scores,
Uh huh.
but the goal is disallowed because the prior player fouled one of those 3 players, which never happened.
Oh,
So I
what?
was I was so confused.
That is That happens. That happened a lot this season. That happened a lot this season. I'm not surprised. Um,
What are your thoughts on VAR?
I like it. I like it. I think statistically speaking, I think it has improved a lot on our soccer referee scene. The referee has a safety net pretty much. They can go back to VAR and check for possible errors. Um, Definitely, you can check so many offside calls, possible offside calls, and like you said, there was a previous foul. I think that's also very important, but sometimes it goes back too much. Kind of. So I want to know what is the line. Where is the line? Where do they draw the line of like when is considered a
I,
foul?
I
Like
think it's the same transition of play. So in the same phase of play. So I
same
think
phase of play.
yeah. So I think that's kind of open ended because same phase of play is I don't know. There's not like some strict rule. I think if the ball ricochets off someone, that's a different phase of play. But I'm not sure. I can be wrong. But yeah, I don't think there's any tight rule on what says it's the same phase of play. So yeah,
Yeah,
like you said, it can go back a little too far.
yeah. Let's say someone fouled like a little shove, right? Little shove in the midline, and then let's say let's say a team went all the way to the goal and then scored. Like no error in the goal process before that little shove.
I
And
think
they call that little push. Sometimes they call those little push which have no effect on the goal at all. Like it's not considered as part of the play, in my opinion. But I guess VAR referees have different thoughts. And they call those little things, and it's so inconsistent. I think it depends so much on these three officials who's working in the room, the VAR official and the referee on side, and the Hawkeye operator. I think is very crucial because he's the one that takes care of all the angles, camera angles. But VAR, what I don't like about VAR is there's already enough flopping in EPL, Idris, and there's so much extra time added from that. And VAR, you also have to wait, wait.
yeah,
Players, they lose momentum when they're playing,
yeah. You
and I
can't even celebrate a goal.
yeah, you can't even celebrate. You celebrate and then you see the big ass monitor behind you, VAR check. I'm like, and player's face goes like they go blank, and I'm like,
Yeah,
let them celebrate,
yeah.
you know?
It's bad. I really don't like it. Like you said, like where do they cut the line on the phase of play? Like if someone is fouled at the halfway line and it doesn't really affect what happened, like there was no player from the other team that was clearly going to win the ball back or anything, or like nothing was going to stop the goal. Like the goal was good. You could see the goal happening, like a counter attack. You know,
Yeah,
you can see you already know the goal is going to happen, but they call it back because there was some minor shove. You know,
yeah,
things like
yeah.
that. I think it's ruined the game. And I think most of the referees in England, most English referees are probably just horrible. They're very bad referees. I think the 2018 World Cup, I don't think any referee from the Premier League was an official at the World Cup.
Mm.
That says a lot about English refs. What are your thoughts on English refs?
English refs, I was actually looking into which teams these referees support, and thankfully they don't. I'm pretty sure they make sure that they don't ref their own home team because they're biased. Um, some referees, what's his name, Dean,
Mike Dean?
Mike Dean. I like Mike Dean. Mike Dean's pretty good,
I,
pretty good.
I do
He's
not like Mike Dean. Did you see
dude,
the game? I think Arsenal's last game where Mike Dean had to give Arsenal a penalty and he shakes his head because VAR overturned him for a bad decision and he shakes his head. That says a lot about Mike Dean not liking Arsenal.
dude. Honestly, I like all the refs, Idris, but I hate when refs get on the way of players passing. They're always in
Yeah.
the center of the play. I'm like, dude, you're not part of this game. You are ref. Yeah, I see that. I see that happen so many times, and then they let the ball through. Like they self mag the ball and then make the pass, and then sometimes blocks. They give you a screen like a basketball. They give you a moving screen for other people.
Yeah, and they can't call the playback. I think some call the playback into a drop ball. I'm not sure, but I've seen some refs just let it slide, and other teams almost scoring off of that, which can be very annoying.
But Idris, what are your thoughts? Like, I mean, you've been watching Premier League for way longer than I have, and obviously getting VAR means it says a lot about the referees too, because we can't really rely on those three referees just itself. That's why we got the VAR to support that. What are your thoughts? Like, do you think there has been so many bad calls by these referees, or how can you how do you think we can improve?
I think there definitely have been good and bad calls. The
Hmm.
referees, I think we have to improve them. Because I think the way VAR works is that VAR can only overturn a decision if there was a clear and obvious error from the referee on field. So it kind of in some ways it's kind of subjective and still down to the referee unless it's clear and obvious. And clear and obvious is not necessarily defined in a clear way.
Right, right.
So it's kind of goes either way. So they can suggest to the referee, like if it's a penalty and the referee said it's not a penalty, if it's not clear and obvious, they can suggest to the ref that it's a penalty, but that doesn't mean he has to necessarily overturn that decision. It's just a suggestion.
Right, right, right. The referee on field, I looked this up, gets to make the final call. He's the one. He can request for other angles to the Hawkeye operator if he wants. So he could take as much as time he wants, and he's the one that makes the final call.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, the referee still makes the call. These are just suggestions. So I guess it just brings another viewing angle to the referee. But if they're kind of satisfied with their decision, it doesn't really matter at that point. And one thing I did notice is that most English, like Premier League referees, don't use the side monitor, the on-field monitor, like other
Mhm.
leagues. I know La Liga, Serie A, their referees go to the side monitor, but most of the Premier League referees just rely on the communication and never actually go to the on-field monitor, which I think will help a little bit because they can actually see it versus just hearing their
Yeah.
their fellow like refs telling them that this.
Hmm.
So I think that would help. I think they should try to force the referees to do that a little more, at least in the Premier League, to get another viewing angle on what that is. So yeah, that's how I feel about it. I think we're still a long way to improving decisions when
Hmm.
it comes to VAR and refs. I think the FA in England they have some big steps and a lot of learning to do compared
Yep,
to
yep.
other leagues. Because I think it's working well in some of the other leagues around the world, but it's working horrible in England. So
Yeah,
they have
yeah.
some fixing to do.
Dude, that's a great observation that how EPL referees don't really use the side monitor. I've noticed that too. Um, VAR really started being used in EPL in 2017, 2018 season. And these referees, we gotta know, they've been reffing without VAR for probably like 30 years, more than 30 years. And we just got started, and I think we need more time for these refs to adjust. And I think there has to be a better training for these VAR room people and the referee. And I think the VAR room, I don't know how many people they hire in the room, but I think they're understaffed, dude. They just have one Hawkeye operator and two other VAR referees working with them. I think there needs to be more people in the room making those decisions quick and more precise.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with you. I 100% agree. There's still a long way to go
Yep, yep.
for VAR in England. So hopefully they can fix it because the inconsistency is one thing for me. If they
Yeah,
were
yeah.
if they were consistently making either good or bad calls, I think I'll be fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
Not that sometimes they make good calls, sometimes they make bad calls, and it's so inconsistent. Like for me, it's pick one side. If you're gonna make bad calls, just keep making bad calls for the rest of the season.
Right,
You know,
right.
like
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna. And this I have an example. I think a red card against Arsenal. I always use Arsenal because
It's
we
all
we we
Arsenal for Idris.
we we've had this we've had the stick end of refs. A challenge by Eddie Nketiah on a player. He goes in, studs are high, 100% red card. I agree. Gets sent off, 100% red card. The following day, Andy Robertson makes the exact same challenge, probably worse.
Mm-hmm.
And I might be wrong if it was Andy Robertson or some Liverpool player,
Mm-hmm.
but he makes the exact same challenge.
Same call. I mean, same challenge.
Same, probably worse, studs high into the shins, endangering the opponent, red card, no question. He gets off with a yellow. That inconsistency I cannot deal with.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Different refs, right? Different refs.
different refs, but if it went to VAR, like it goes through VAR, both incidents, but one was a yellow and one was a red. I don't understand.
Wow. Also, for example, Son had a penalty against Leicester and he had a little stutter. And Pogba does that stutter. Hazard does the stutter all the time. But Son had like a tiny little stutter. And he makes it into the right corner. And then referee calls a VAR no goal.
Oh wow. I don't think I've seen that one, but again, it comes down to inconsistency. I know Bruno Fernandes does the same thing. Does the thing. He does the little hop step. So
Yeah, yeah. You can't
so
stop, right? You can't stop. You're not supposed to stop, but you can
yeah,
have little stutters where you're still in the frontward motion.
yeah, you can do that, but again, comes down to the inconsistency of VAR.
One player gets one player puts stutter on other player's face and he's get a like yellow card and another player gets sent off.
Yeah. So Jun, I want to ask you this: what are your thoughts on the precise offside measurement that VAR does? So like millimeter measurements that account for goals to be canceled. What are your thoughts on that?
Dude, great question. Have you seen the video of the Chinese VAR room where the VAR referee was using a piece of paper to get the measurement?
Yeah, I think I've seen that video.
So I don't know. I don't know if they're using different type of VAR there. I'm assuming their VAR is not as precise as the English one. But dude, I think so they draw the line, right? They all the time every time they for the offside, they draw the line. Your arm doesn't count, your foot counts, and it starts with your so they draw the line of your body all the way down.
Yeah.
And this reminds me of one example, recent Son Heung-min's goal that got disallowed against West Ham. He gets passed by a pass by his team member, a great pass, first touch, and then boom, on the left corner. Checks the VAR, he celebrates, everyone's happy, it's buzzing. He looks back, there's a VAR check. And it's when you look at the screen, it's like your fingernail, your
Wow.
your like tip of your toe is like in front of the defender, and that shouldn't have been. I think dealing with that precise measurement, I think if it's like a toe size, I think it should be given. I mean, I could
So
be biased here, because I'm a
do you
Spurs fan,
yeah,
but
do you
precise, Idris. But you asked me how precise is VAR, dude. I don't think so, dude. Every time I see VAR check, I'm like, you know how they stop when the ball leaves the passing person's foot?
yeah.
sometimes I'm thinking, oh, maybe it could go a little frames more, a couple frames more, and there will be a different result.
Yeah,
It's so inconsistent. It comes down to inconsistency again.
yeah. I agree with it. I think growing the
What are your
way that
thoughts?
I think the way football has evolved over time, that millimeter that is always offside is an advantage to the attacker. You understand? Because there's only so much an attacker can do. Like
Right.
there's some people that are spot on with the passes. Quicker players obviously are going to beat an offside trap
Mm.
versus. So if you're not that quick of a player, that fraction of a second or that fraction of a millimeter that you get is your advantage against the defender. It's that close that
Yeah, yeah,
it,
yeah.
it should not be considered
Yeah.
because it's an advantage to the attacker.
Mm.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah, because without that advantage as an attacker, you it just VAR kind of just takes off that option. You
Yeah,
kind of
dude.
just it's ridiculous.
Why don't we have everything automated then? Why don't we just have robot referees calling the calls and have everything just automated, dude?
I don't know. Like I think the offsides one for me is has to be the most clearly like there's some that like if it's like a foot offside, like it's clear like it's clearly offside if you look at VAR that the ref can miss it, then
Yeah, yeah.
yes, those ones should be given. But if it's like you have to start drawing lines, you have to start doing like Pythagorean theorem with like we're
Yeah.
triangles trying to figure out like if he's like 0.0001 millimeters offside, that should be given. I think I kind of lost it when they said was it I think it was Son also his armpit was offside or that could be Mane like
Uh,
his armpit is offside. Are you kidding me? Which player is gonna like necessarily just use their armpit to score a goal? You know,
Dude,
it's
they
things like
they use the wrong formula for Pythagoras theorem. We gotta have cheat sheets on the trigonometry cheat sheets in a VR room. That's what we need. That's gonna solve the issue.
yeah, probably it
Armpit,
was.
dude. Armpit. Wow.
Yes, armpit. I was furious. I'm like, it disadvantages the attacker so much. Now the hybrid of new attackers have to be they have to either be fast or able to take on a player and shoot from outside because like that
Mm.
run in behind that fraction of a millimeter is now to their disadvantage versus when it was to their advantage.
That is terrible, dude. That is terrible.
It's very bad.
Aubameyang,
So
let's say Aubameyang versus Harry Maguire. They're on the same line, and that fraction of second. Obviously, Aubameyang's faster, and
yeah,
he's gonna win that. And if you look at that frame, he's definitely gonna be ahead. And dude, that's a great point. I never thought about that.
yeah. So hopefully they can fix it. They should set a rule that like if it's within certain millimeters, kind of give the goal. I
Yep,
think
yep.
that because I think way too many goals have been counted as offside, and I think it's gone against every team. Like fraction has gone against Mane, it's gone against Son, it's gone against Aubameyang, it's gone against
Yeah.
every team, and it's just like that's the attacker's advantage. You're taking that away from them. Like we already had, like most of the modern center backs are already fast. You know, like
Yep.
look at Van Dijk. He's how tall? 6'4",
Uh-huh.
pasty. Look at that.
He's a
That
beast.
fraction, yeah, that fraction of a second for any attacker is like it's like light years for them against Van Dijk because they know he can recover. Then
Yeah.
you're gonna call offside for that. That's that's not right if you ask me. That's my opinion. That's not right. So
Yeah, yeah. For sure, for sure. I was gonna say something on the VAR.
yeah,
So we're gonna see VAR in the next World Cup,
yeah, that's true.
2022 Qatar.
Yeah,
What are your
which
thoughts on that? Do you think we need it, or do you want to go back without VAR?
I think if they get the right refs in, like you said, if they adequately staff the VAR room also and have multiple people look at it and don't have any English refs, It'll 100% work.
Mm.
It'll work, but
Yeah.
they
Just
have they have to
robots.
do all they have to do all of those things. I mean, robots might be better than some of these refs, some of these
Yeah.
English refs at least.
Either says Mike Dean out.
100% Mike Dean out.
Dude, also, yeah, going back to the one like bad calls in VAR. Aston Villa, I forgot which team, but it was a header and the ball clearly went over the line.
Yeah.
Full sphere of the ball went over the line. And goalie quickly grabs it and um throws it out of the penalty, I mean out of the goal box. And that goal was disallowed.
Oh wow.
I mean,
See.
they went through it, and every Premier League watchers audience, they saw it. It went over the line, and then they gave it away. And now what? Aston Villa is in the Premier League, and there was another call, Aston Villa, where their goal got uh the other team's goal against Aston Villa got disallowed. So if these weren't happening, it's all numbers game, dude. Watford could have stayed. I mean, I'm I'm not supportive of either, but it could be so different. But who knows? Even without without VAR, Spurs would have won the league. So you can say so much about the past.
Yeah. So I have a table here from ESPN where the list kind of lists the number of times VAR went against a team or for a team.
Okay.
So VAR overturns decisions for, guess who's on top? West Brom Albion. They've overturned 12 decisions for them. Leading to goals, they've overturned two. They've disallowed two of their goals. So VAR has disallowed two of their goals.
So 12 calls for West Brom was good, like
So
using VAR.
10, because they disallowed two of their goals. So 10 calls in total were good for West
West
Brom.
Brom. Okay.
Manchester United, 10 ended up being good. Crystal Palace, 8. Leicester, 8. Manchester City, 8. My poor Arsenal, 4. Spurs, 8.
Mm.
That's, and if we go to their net, so more positive, so if they had more positive and more versus more negatives that went against them, guess who's on top? Brighton's still on top, which had 8 positives going in their favor versus the other ones. So they had a +8. At the bottom was Norwich, which had a -7. So 7 decisions were bad for Norwich. That's a lot of
Mm.
points. They did get relegated. Like, imagine if they were winning those games. I don't know necessarily like the outline of those games were, but
Yeah.
if it was they could have stayed up, maybe. Who knows?
Maybe.
Arsenal -1, so we've had almost an equal amount of bad calls versus good calls for us.
Mm-hmm.
Spurs +1, so same thing, equal amount of
Mm-hmm.
bad. And everybody calls Manchester United VAR Chester United. They have +7. They have +7, so they've had way more good goals
Plus
or
7.
more
Wow.
decisions. Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, how do you think Bruno gets his goals, man? Penalties.
That's true. That's true. I'm thinking, every VAR system is same all throughout all stadiums, right? It should be
Yeah,
same system, same procedure. I don't think it's same procedure though. I don't think it's same procedure. Every stadium has different VAR assistants, and
yeah. It just comes down to the inconsistency and subjective opinions about things.
yep.
So,
World Cup, right? 2014 World Cup. There were about 350. No, 2018 World Cup. There were about 335 incidents checked by VAR.
Oh, how many of
That's
do
a
you know
lot.
how many of do you know how many of those were
That
correct?
one, no, I don't know about that one.
But that's still a lot. How many games do they play? But that's awfully a lot of
Yeah,
card calls.
dude. But I personally remember I used to support Korea. Um, and Idris, you supported Nigeria. Is that correct?
Yeah, I gotta rep my team, my country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was like it was like 2006 World Cup, I think. I could be wrong, but we were playing Switzerland and there were about like three possible penalties if they went through VAR. But that match we lost and then we lost other matches after that. We're on the downfall and then we didn't make it to quarterfinals. So
Yeah.
all the
So
Koreans all the Koreans were upset, dude.
as
But
they should.
if VAR was there,
Maybe, maybe.
it
I
could have been
just got some,
different.
yeah, I just got some stats on the World Cup. You were talking about 335 incidents. So
Mm.
this is from Stan Collymore on Twitter. He said the World Cup VAR decisions, 95% of decisions were correct without VAR, but with VAR, 99.3% correct decisions were made. So out of those 335, 99.3 were correct. And he says
Wow.
VAR is clearly working, no brainer. What are your thoughts on that?
So 90% before,
95% before.
95% before. It's still pretty up there, but when it comes to making many calls, that 5% is a lot.
Yeah, definitely. So it seemed to work. So I think that's because they didn't have any English refs. I'm always going to take a dig at English refs.
Dang
So
it, English refs.
so they need to improve. They have to learn from other leagues. So before we go on to the next topic, you have any more closing remarks on VAR?
Let's see.
Any
Let's see
final
what I
thoughts?
let's see what I got. Yeah, there's just so many VAR incidents that I just wrote down, Firmino versus Aston Villa, it should have been a goal as well for Firmino. And Southampton versus Bournemouth, Josh King, he got fouled and then it
Oh,
wasn't called.
yeah. So
And I
these
think,
these are difficult decisions.
yeah, I think what's interesting is the rules are changing every year. Like the handball
Yeah.
rule.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I was actually reading about handball rule and then it's so, I feel for the ref though. There's like 8 bullet points that you have to take care of. Like you have to consider all these 8 different things in your mind always. And was it over the shoulder? Was it like on the floor? Was it, was a arm like close to your body? You know, where does Aubameyang's shoulder start?
Yeah. So uh, it's a lot, but
But
they're also getting paid a lot of money to do this. So they have to do their homework. They got to study, make the
that's
right
true.
calls. Like, because like
English
again,
refs, yeah, English refs again.
yeah, just do your homework. Maybe get they'll be able to ref a major competition. Like a World Cup final. It'll
Yeah,
be a shit show if they ref a World Cup final with their bad calls.
yeah. I really want to see Mike Dean in Qatar 2020, 22.
No, 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 no.
If he gets better.
Yes, only if he gets better. But Mike Dean, no, he's a no go. But yeah,
Dude,
that's
yeah, it just overall, I think I like VAR. It's been definitely helpful for all the matches. And they always. I think right now is good. They always try to improve things so much with technology, and it goes kind of backwards, and it ruins the sport. I really hope that doesn't happen. It gets too VAR oriented and like automated. I think right now is a good balance. Right now is a good balance. So I think we want to keep it this way, um, at least for like maybe 50 years in the future. I don't know what's gonna happen, but what do you think, Idris? What do you want to keep VAR, or do you
I
like it as
think
it is, or do you want to? Do you think you can?
if they make changes to it and make sure they're consistent, yes, I'm 100% for VAR. But right now, I'll take it out the game. That's an unpopular opinion. I'll take VAR out the game
Mm.
right now till they kind of work it to a more consistent level. So let us know in the comments what you think about VAR. You know, just
Guys,
give us your
remember, Idris is an Arsenal fan.
thoughts. Yeah, so
VAR,
I'm kind
VAR
of
done him wrong. VAR done him wrong.
yeah, they did me wrong. But let us know in the comments what you think about VAR.
Yes, please leave the comments and
All right, so let's go on to the final topic today. The Champions League is coming back. Are you excited?
I'm excited. If I sing the Champions League song right now, are we gonna get copyrighted?
I do not know. Maybe. I don't know how copyrights work.
Yeah, the Champions League song, man. It's beautiful. But yeah, Champions League, it's coming up. It's coming up.
Yeah.
16 teams, right? 16 teams left. 8 teams?
There are there are already four teams in the quarterfinals. We have second legs of the round of 16, and I'm just gonna read out the second legs for you, and you're gonna tell me your thoughts on them and who you want to win. So we have Real Madrid versus Manchester City. Manchester City are leading 2-1, but the return leg is at the Etihad. Then we have Lyon versus Juventus. Lyon lead 1-0, but return leg is at Juve in Turin. Napoli versus Barcelona, 1-1, return leg at the new camp. And Chelsea versus Bayern Munich. Bayern is leading 3-0, and the return leg is at the Allianz Arena. What are your thoughts? Who do you think can make a comeback? And who do you think is going to make it to the quarterfinals?
Yeah. Man City's gonna win the first match. Man City's gonna win in Real
against
Madrid versus Man City.
against Madrid?
Madrid, yeah,
Champ-
they're up and they're home.
yeah, but Madrid are the champions of Spain. They've been dominant.
Dude, come on, but like their group stage record is like five, like three. It was like 5-3-2 or something like that. 5-5. It was pretty bad. I just remember it was pretty bad compared to Man City, which they were on the top of the table. But I don't know. What do you think? Do you think Real Madrid's gonna take this? They gotta score. They're in a away setting. No
Yeah,
audience, dude. No audience. I mean,
yeah.
which is gonna work in their favor, I think.
Nah, I mean, Man City, they don't have fans anyway. That's a dig at all Man City fans.
Boo, 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 boo.
But I would say it's going to be a good game. I think on their day, Man City are probably one of a top five team in Europe, but their defense has been really shaky.
Mm.
So that's going to be tough for them. And Real Madrid, the five-time winners, and like how many times over the last couple of years? Zidane has won it 3 times, and it's going to be tough for Man City. I think that one's going to be close, but I think I'll edge towards Madrid winning just a little bit, but it's going to be a hard one.
Who's gonna score?
I call a goal for Benzema. I don't think Aguero will be back for City by then, so I'll say De Bruyne gets a goal maybe, but
Hmm.
I don't know who gets another goal if Madrid gets another goal, but I think Benzema gets one goal at least.
If De Bruyne scores, oh yeah, yeah. If De Bruyne scores, that's gonna make 3 Man City and Real Madrid 1. So Real Madrid's gonna have to score 3 more, right, to win.
Yeah, they'll have to score. Yeah, no, they'll have to score four. I think. Yeah, I think the aggregate rule is so it's very confusing
Yeah,
in
yeah.
UEFA. I never really understood it, but
The away goal counts more than the home
Yeah, so if
Oh,
they score 3, they win. Yeah,
yeah.
they
If
go
they
through.
score 3, yeah, they win. I think Sergio Ramos is gonna score.
Oh, that's written all over it. It's written all over that game. Sergio Ramos penalty to take them to the quarterfinals. I can, I can see that happening.
Dude, this guy can score. What does he play? He's a defender, right?
Yeah, center back. I think the
Center back.
highest goal scoring center back.
Oh my god, dude. This guy has crazy stats.
World class.
World
What
class.
do
And he's growing out. What did you think about his new style, dude? His beard and his new hair.
you... I like it. I dig it.
He looks super masculine now. Way more masculine than before.
Yeah. All right. Let's go on to the next game. Lyon versus Juventus. Lyon are leading.
Yeah, Leon is leading, right? Leon is leading. Juventus, man. Ronaldo. Ooh!
Yeah, I'll agree. I think Juve take that one easily. So feel bad for Leon, but it's kind of, I mean, it's
Who does
Juve.
who does Leon have? Name 3 players, Idris.
Uh, they have Aouar and Memphis Depay. Those are the only two
Depay,
players. Those are the
Depay.
only two players I know on Leon. So obviously, based on my knowledge of Leon, like I think Juve takes that one easily.
Yeah, yeah. I agree.
Napoli versus Barcelona.
Napoli
1-1.
versus yeah. Barca lost the cup.
Do you
Barca
think
lost their
redemption?
league.
Redemption?
Napoli, how are they doing in this league right now? How are they doing in Serie A?
Let's see. I don't think they're doing that bad. I think they finish in
They're
the top.
7th.
Whoa, I was wrong
Ooh, hoo, hoo. Barca did. Barca.
there.
Barca's gonna win. Messi's just too good, man. And it's home, so
But he needs help. He has no help in that Barca team right now. He needs help.
did you hear Messi say he's not gonna sign with Barca again?
Oh, really? I
Yep.
thought, oh, wow. That would be huge.
He doesn't like the management.
I mean, Barca's management's been shocking.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'll have to agree. I'll say, it's going to be a tough one for Barca because they'll have to contain Chucky Lozano. No,
Yeah.
I like Chucky, but yeah,
Chucky Rosano. Chucky Rosano. Chucky's goal against Germany in World Cup. That was fabulous.
yeah. So yeah, I'll say Barcelona too. And Chelsea versus Bayern. Bayern are up 3-0.
Yeah, we don't have to discuss this one. Bayern's gonna win. 100%.
Yeah, Chelsea should just forfeit, you know.
Yeah, just forfeit. Yep.
Like imagine that defense against Lewandowski, Serge Gnabry. Like they're gonna get ripped to shreds. And Bayern are at home. I feel
True.
bad
Yeah.
for I feel bad for Lampard, bro. You have to feel bad for him.
Do you think they can still win with their second lineup?
I don't know. The first lineup is barely good. Like, I mean, I say barely good, but I say that because of their defense. Because like their
No,
midfield
Bayern,
is
Bayern. It's just
Bayern.
Bayern, yeah. If Bayern put up with the second lineup, like 1.5 lineup.
I don't know. I don't think Bayern has a strong second lineup. They're not like a Man City or Real Madrid that have world class players sitting on the bench. So
Yeah. What if they bring in like the youngins, like youngins.
that would be disrespectful to Chelsea.
Yeah,
Very
that's true.
disrespectful. Like imagine they're starting with youngsters and they're up in the game. They've probably scored 2 goals. Then they bring on like Lewandowski to come finish them off. Like that would be so rude and unfair.
Yeah.
So let us know your predictions for these games in the comments also. Let's see what you think. Who do you think is going to win and be in the quarterfinals? And
For sure.
teams are already in the quarterfinals. We have RB Leipzig. They beat your precious Spurs by 4 goals to 0. How did you feel about that?
And we got destroyed. Oh man,
Humiliated.
I'm excited though because Leipzig. I don't know if you heard it. Have you heard that a new signing of Leipzig, of Timo Werner replacement?
Oh no, who did they sign as replacement? Who was their replacement?
They signed a Korean forward named Hwang Hee-chan.
Oh,
Yeah. You're like, what?
he sounds like a killer.
He used to play for a little bit of background. He used to play for under the same Red Bull company. Can you guess?
In Austria,
Yep.
I don't know, RB something. I don't know the name.
Salzburg.
Oh, Salzburg. Oh, so he played with the likes of Holland and Minamino. Was it?
Yep.
Oh, so he's bound to be good, I think. Yeah.
Hey, he's the
Okay.
guy that juked Van Dyke in Champions League.
Oh, really? Oh, he,
Yeah.
he sent Van Dijk for a hot dog. That was the, that was the first time I've seen Van Dijk kind of clueless.
Yeah. He did him
Right.
dirty, dude. He did him dirty.
Yeah. So, interesting. Then we have Atletico Madrid, who beat the champions 4-2. Wonderful for Atletico. Tough
Whoa,
fight.
Atletico's they're ahead.
Yeah, they beat Liverpool. They beat them on the aggregates. So
Oh yeah,
they're already
they're already in. Yeah.
yeah. So
Whoa,
they're real contenders if you ask me for the Champions League.
for sure.
And we have Atalanta. Oh,
Atalanta.
oh my days. What an underdog story. They've been on fire this season. They've been scoring for fun.
Yeah,
They've been scoring for fun. It is incredible.
it's their hobby.
Excited. Excited to see who they face in the quarters, whoever they face, they have a real tough one because like if you score against them, they're bound to score. So it's gonna be a high goal scoring match if you ask me, whoever they face. And the last one we have is Paris Saint-Germain, who beat Dortmund 3-2.
Mm.
I think that kind of says it for itself. When you have a front line of Icardi, Mbappe, Neymar, and by the way, Mbappe is injured and he won't be there for the first leg of their game against whoever they play. I think they play Atalanta. I'm not sure, but whoever
Hmm.
they play, no Mbappe. But
Let me
when you
look it
have
up.
Neymar, when you have Neymar, I mean,
He's a
what can you
beast,
say?
dude. He's a beast.
Yeah, he's a beast.
He's
I
a
think
real
he's.
definition of playing soccer as a hobby.
Did you see that? What's it called? I think one game for PSG, Neymar actually got a card for showboating.
Like showing off.
Yeah, the players got mad. They were getting frustrated, and the referee gave Neymar a yellow card because he was showboating.
Come on, isn't that every match that Neymar plays?
Yeah, like it's the Brazilian in him. They're showboaters. Ronaldinho, like the salsa king.
So good, dude.
Yeah,
Brazilians, man.
they're so good.
It's in their genes.
So, based on these teams that are left in the Champions League, Jen, who do you think is going to win the Champions League? What's your prediction?
Uh, I think PSG. Its final is gonna be PSG versus Bayern.
PSG versus Bayern. Who wins it?
Bayern takes it.
Oh,
Gnabry with the winner. Gnabry with the winner.
all right.
He's
PS,
so good. He's so good in Champions League. He cooked Spurs up, dude. I hate
yeah,
that guy.
I love him. But I will never forgive Arsenal. He was an Arsenal player. Guess how much we sold him for?
Wait, he was in Arsenal?
Yep, he was
I
an
didn't know
Arsenal
that.
player. He was an
Oh,
Arsenal player. Wasn't
let me
given a
guess.
chance. How much?
8 mil.
Close. I think it was 6 or 5 mil.
Whoa.
Insane. Insane. Imagine him in our team now. Him on one side, Pepe on the other, Aubameyang or Lacazette up top. Pepe.
Damn. They sold the Tesla stock so early.
Yeah, so again, let us know in the comments who you think the final is going to be between and who wins the Champions League final. Any closing remarks before we end this episode, June? I think this is a great episode. And again, thank you for listening to the first episode. And second episode.
Yep. We're already on second.
Yeah, time flies. So thank you for listening to the second one. And we can go with closing remarks. Any closing remarks?
Yeah, thank you everyone for listening. It was fun times with Idris once again. We're gonna come back with more contents next episode. Stay tuned.
All right. Have a good one, June.
Have a good one, Idris. Bye now.
Enchanté.